And the first question says, is this repair is complete race? This is how he calculates the charge for a repair. So we have $56 for the first hour, then $12.25 for each additional 15 minutes. So work out the amount he charges for a repair that takes him 2 hours. So from the 2 hours, 1 hour is going to be for $56. Now for the remaining 1 hour, 15 minutes is for 12.25. So in an hour, we have 4 15 minutes, which means our equation is going to be 56 plus 4 times 12.25. Since 1 15-minute costs 12.25, so 4 15 minutes will cost 4 times 12.25, and that's going to give us $105. Then it says he charges $166.25 for another repair. He starts work on the repair at 2:30. Find the time when he completes the repair. So going back to the same equation, 166.25 equals to 56 plus 12.25 times x. So first, let's find the value of x, which is like how many additional 15 minutes he has used. So 166.25 minus 56 divided by 12.25. So this is going to be 9. So he used 9 15 minutes. So that means 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15. That is 1 hour. He's using 9 15. So another 15 15 15 is going to be another 1 hour. And now we're left with 115 minutes. So this all adds up to 2 hours and 15 minutes. So now he started the work at 2:30. One existing hour, which is for $56, already exists. So we're adding 3 hours and 15 minutes to this. Why 3 hours? 1 fixed hour. And then 2 hours and 15 minutes is the additional time. So that's going to be 45 and 5. So he's going to stop working at 5:45 p.m. He invests $6,200 in an account paying compound interest at a rate of 1.7% per year. Calculate the total amount of interest earned at the end of 4 years. So we will do P times 1 plus R to the power of T. And this entire thing will be subtracted from 6,200, which is the principal amount. So let's first find the value of the amount after like he's gotten the interest. So that's going to be 6,200 times 1 plus 1.7 over 100 to the power of 4. So that's 6,200 times 1 plus 0.017 to the power of 4. And when we solve that, we get 6,632.47. Now the interest is going to be 6,200 minus, interest is going to be this amount minus your principal amount. So that's going to give us $432.47. That is the total amount of interest he's earned at the end of 4 years. The exchange rate between dollars and euros is $1 equals to 0.84 euros. He buys some equipment from a website that charges in euros. The equipment costs 760 euros. He must pay 2.5% tax on this cost. Work out the amount he pays for equipment, including tax. So what we're going to do over here is that we know that $1 is for this much euros. So 1 euro is going to be 1 over 0.84 dollars. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to find the 2.5% tax on 760. So 760 times 2.5 over 100 plus 760. This is going to give us the final amount after he's paid tax, 779 euros. So now we're going to convert these 779 euros into dollars. So for that, we will do 1.084 times 779, and that's going to give us $927.38. Question 2 says, find the size of one interior angle of a regular 15-sided polygon. So one interior angle has the formula of n minus 2 times 180 divided by n. N is 15. So we're going to do 15 minus 2 times 180 over 15. That's going to be 156 degrees. The diagram shows part of a regular 15-sided polygon. Find the value of x. So we already found that this interior angle is 156. And since it's a regular sided polygon, this length is going to equal to this length. So I'm going to start with finding these two angles because this is an isosceles triangle. I'm going to call this y. Y is equal to 180 minus 156 divided by 2, which is going to equal 12 degrees. So if this is 12 and this entire angle is 156, so x is going to be 156 minus 12, which is 144 degrees. Interior angle will be the same in the regular sided polygon because all sides are equal, so the angles are also going to be equal. Then part B says, A, B, C, and D are points on the circle with center O. AB is the diameter of the circle. Angle BAC is 24. Find ADC. Give a reason for each step of your working. So ADC is this one. If this is the diameter and we have an angle at the circumference, so this is 90. Angle ACB is 90. Because angles in a semicircle, angles in a semicircle at the circumference equal to 90 degrees. So we can start by finding this angle now. So angle ABC is going to be 180 minus 90 minus 24, which is going to equal 66 degrees. So since A, B, C, D touch the circumference of the circle, so that means this quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral. And in a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles add up to 180. So that means angle ABC plus angle ADC is going to equal to 180. Cyclic quadrilateral. Hence, we can do 66 plus angle ADC equals to 180. So angle ADC is going to be 180 minus 66, which is going to equal 114. That is your answer. Question 3 says, Leila asks a group of people what type of exercise they prefer. The results are shown in the pie chart. 90 people prefer running. So as you can see, for running, they've given us the angle of 135 and 90 people prefer running. So we have to calculate the total number of people she's asking. So that means we're going to do 135 over 360 equal to 90 over x. X is the total amount of people. So the ratio of the angle is going to equal to the ratio of the people. So we cross multiply, x equals to 90 times 360 over 135. And that is going to equal to 240. So 240 people are the total number of people which Leila is asking. Then work out the fractions of the group who prefer yoga. Giving us in simplest form. So for yoga, what we're going to do is we're going to find the angle first. Angle of yoga is going to be 360 minus 60 minus 90 and minus 135. Since it's a complete circle, so if we subtract the other angles from 360, that's going to give us the angle for yoga, which is going to be 75 degrees. So 75 over 360 is our fraction, and now if we simplify it, that's going to be 5 over 24. So this is the fraction for the people who are doing yoga. Then she records the number of steps she walks each day for 60 days. The table shows the results. Complete the histogram to represent the data. So let's find the frequency density for each first. Frequency density is basically your frequency divided by class width. Class width is your difference of your maximum and minimum value of the interval. So if we start with the first one, I've already done the first one actually. They want us to find for the other ones. So what we'll do is for 8 to 9, frequency density, frequency is 16 and the class width is 2. That's going to be 8. Then for the next interval, frequency is 14 and the class width is 2, so that's going to be 7. Then for the next one, frequency is 15 and the class width is 3, so that's going to be 5. And for the last one, frequency density is 6 divided by 4, which is going to be, last one is 6 divided by 5, which is going to be 1.2. So now if we remove this and scroll up. Okay, so for the first one, which was 8 to 10, we're going to do till 8. This is our, so basically it's going to be like a complete rectangle like this. This is for 8 to 10. Then for next one is 10 to 12. So for 10 to 12, it's 7. So let's draw a line at 7 first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that is, yeah, 10 to 12. then 12 to 15, that is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lastly, your 15 to 20, which is 1.2. So 1.2 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 over here. So this is that's our histogram. Next, it says Leila has a target of 11,000 steps every day. Find an estimate for the percentage of these 60 days that Leila met her target. So 11,000 steps every day is going to be starting from here, but it's going to be in the middle. So we're going to take 7 from here, 15 from here, and 6 from here. Why 7? Because we have 10 to 11 and 11 to 12. And 11 is right in the middle of 10 and 12. So which means we're starting from 11,000. Because it says Leila has a target of 11,000 steps every day. So that means we can't include the 10,000 part, which is less than 11,000. So we start at 11,000. That means the frequency is 7. Then 15 plus 6. So 15 plus 7 plus 6 is going to be 28. And then what we're going to do is we're going to divide 28 by 60 and then times that by 100. So that's going to be 46.7%. Question 4 says solve 5x plus 6 equals to 3x. I'm going to bring 3x to the left-hand side and take 6 to the right-hand side. So that's 2x equals to negative 6. X is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. Part B says the mass of a plum is n grams. The mass of an apple is twice the mass of the plum. So plum is n. Apple is 2n. The mass of a banana is 50 more than the mass of the apple. The total mass of the plum, apple, and banana is 450 grams. So that means all of this added together is equal to 450 grams. Form an equation in n and solve it to find the mass of the plum. So we have 5n plus 50 equals to 450. 5n is 450 minus 50, which is 400. N is going to be 400 over 5, which is 80. So 80 grams is the mass of a plum. Solve by factorization. So we have a quadratic equation. I'm going to use middle term breakage. We're going to start with finding factors of 21, which are 3 times 7 and 21 times 1. Since 7 minus 3 gives us 4, I'm going to replace the middle term with negative 7x plus 3x, and everything else comes as it is. Factor by grouping. Between the first two terms, we have x common, so x minus 7. Between the third and the fourth term, we have 3 common, So x minus 7 again. So x minus 7 times x plus 3. So x equals to 7 and x equals to -3. A bag contains 40 balls, 28 of the balls are red and the rest are green. Aisha takes a ball from the bag at random, notes its color and replaces it. Find the probability that this ball is green. So the probability of the ball being green is going to be 40 minus 28 over 40, which is basically going to equal 12 over 40, which is 3 over 10. Then it says Aisha repeats this 200 times. Work out the number of times she expects to get a green ball. So we're just going to multiply 3 over 10 by 200, which is going to be 60. So she expects the ball to be green 60 times. A bag contains 9 blue balls and 7 yellow balls. Sergio takes 2 balls from the bag at random without replacement. Complete the tree diagram. So if we have 9 over 16 for blue, yellow is going to be 7 over 16. If we're taking a blue ball without replacement, so 9 becomes 8 and the total also changes from 16 to 15. So for yellow, it's going to be 7 over 15. Why 7 over 15? Because we took a blue ball. And if you're taking a blue ball, so total number of balls are changing because there is no replacement. So 16 becomes a 15. And same over here for yellow. If we're taking a yellow ball, it's going to be 6 over 15. And for the blue ball, the total will remain the same, which is 9. But your overall ball number would be 15 again. Then it says find the probability that the two balls are the same color. So for both the balls to be same colors, the route we're going to follow is this or this. Both these two routes give us the same color, which means 9 over 16 times 8 over 15, or, which means plus 7 over 16 times 6 over 15. So if we solve that, that's going to be 19 over 40. Complete the table for y equals to 4 to the power of x equals to 10. So we need to find the value when x is 0. So 4 to the power of 0 over 10 is going to be 1 over 10, which is 0.1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Then it says draw the graph of y equals to 4 to the power of x over 10 for values from 0 to 3. So I'm going to start with writing the coordinates on the side first. So we have 0 and 0.1, 0.5 and 0.2, 1, 0.4, 1.5 and 0.8, 2 and 1.6, 2.5 and 3.2, and 3 and 6.4. So now let's scroll up and plot these. Let's see if I'm going to even see these points now. So 0, 0.1. That is over here. 0.5 and 0.2. That is here. 1 and 0.4. That is here. Then 1.5 and 0.8. So that's going to be over here. Then 2 and 1.6. 1.6 is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is going to come right over here. 2 and 1.6. After that, we have 2.5 and 3.2. 3.1, 2. So that's going to come over here. And 3 and 6.4. So 6.4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's over here. So now, as you can see, this is an exponential function, and then let's try to join these as smoothly as possible. Yeah, that's the most neat thing I can do. And then it says, by drawing, use a graph to solve the equation of 4 to the power of x over 10 equals to 5. So for equal to 5, I'm going to draw a line at y equals to 5. Which is going to give us this point over here. That's 2.75. 2.75 is your solution to that. Then let me just erase that. After that, it says, by drawing a tangent, estimate the gradient of y equals to 4 to the power of x over 10 when x is 2. So when x is 2, I'm going to draw a tangent over here. This is a tangent at x equals to 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the gradient of this line. And the gradient of the tangent will basically be equal to the gradient of the curve. So pick 2 points. The first one can be at x equals to 2, which is basically going to give us 1.6, 7, 8, 9, 1.6. So one coordinate is 2 and 1.6. And we can pick another point. If I pick this point over here, that's approximately 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 0.4. So 1.5 and 0.4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the gradient using these 2 points. So that's going to be 1.6 minus 0.4 divided by 2 minus 1.5, which is going to be 1.2 over 0.5. So that's 12 over 5. And that's going to equal 2.4. So that is your gradient. The next question says, this is a sketch of the graph of y equals to x squared plus ax plus b. Find the value of a and b. So since we have two roots at x equals to 2 and x equals to 5, that means x minus 2 times x minus 5 is equal to 0. Expand them. X squared minus 5x minus 2x plus 10 equals to 0. That's going to be x squared minus 7x plus 10 equals to 0. So a is negative 7 and b is 10. Question 7 says, point A and B are shown on a centimeter square grid. ABC is a triangle. Here are 5 possible coordinates for point C. Take the 2 coordinates from the list that make ABC an isosceles triangle. So if we choose negative 2 and 4, negative 2 and 4 comes over here. So if we join these 2 points, does that give us the same distance for these 2 points? We can say that this is 1, this is greater, yeah. If we call this point C, this distance is greater than this, and obviously AB is bigger than all 2 of them. So first set of coordinates is not possible. Then for negative 2 and negative 1, negative 2 and negative 1 is over here. So if we join these points, this is an isosceles triangle because this length is equal to this length. So that means negative 2 and negative 1 is one of the coordinates. Then if we pick another one, which is negative 1 and negative 2 now. So negative 1 and negative 2, which comes over here. So this is visibly not an isosceles. This length, the BC length is bigger. AB is big, like it's less than it, but not, but still big, but it's less than BC, and AC is less than the 2 of them. So this also doesn't work. Now we're left with 6, 1 and negative 4, 6. So 6, 1 is going to be over here. So now let's join the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. From the point we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points over. So this is an isosceles triangle because this distance is equal to this. B is symmetrical towards A and C. So we have our 2 points. There's no like point in trying the fourth one because the last one, because you already have the 2 points. So let's move on to the next one. Find the column vector of AB. So to find the column vector of AB, we look at the coordinates from the graph. A was negative 4 and 1, and B is 1, 4. So AB vector is going to be OB minus OA, which is 1, 4 minus negative 4 and 1, 1 minus negative 4, and 4 minus 1. That's going to give us 5 and 3. Then it says A is the midpoint of the line DB, find DB. So if A is the midpoint of line DB, that means DB is going to be twice of AB. That's 2 times 5 and 3, which is 10 and 6. So now the magnitude of DB will be square root of the square of 10 square plus 6 square, 100 plus 36, which is square root of 136, and that is going to equal 11.7. The equation of the line P is y equals to 4x minus 3. The line L is perpendicular to line P. So if it's perpendicular, gradient of P is 4. So gradient of L is going to be negative 1 over 4. Why? Because m1 times m2 equals to negative 1. m1 is 4, m2 is what we have to find. So m2 will be negative 1 over 4. Then it says line L passes the point from 6, 4. Find the coordinates of the point where line L crosses the x-axis. We already have our gradient of line L. They've given us the point, which is 6, 4. So we use y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. This is the formula that we use when we have a point and the gradient to find the line of equation. So y minus 4 equals to negative 1 over 4 times x minus 6. 4 times y minus 4 equals to negative x plus 6. 4y minus 16 equals to negative x plus 6, which is 4y equals to negative x plus 6 plus 16. That is negative x plus 22. So you have to find the value of the coordinates where the line crosses the x-axis. So we put y equals to 0. So 4 times 0 equals to negative x plus 22. 0 equals to negative x plus 22. X is equal to 22. So the coordinate is 22, 0. Question 8 says the diagram shows a small rectangle inside a large rectangle. The height of the large rectangle is x. The length of the large rectangle is 4 times the height. So that means this is 4x. This entire thing is 4x. Then it says the width of the shaded border is 3 centimeter. The area of the small rectangle is 80 centimeters square. This is 80 centimeters square. Form an equation in x and show that it simplifies to 2x square minus 15x minus 22 equals to 0. So what we'll do is we will make our equation for the area of the small rectangle, which is going to be 4x minus 6. Why minus 6? Because this 3 and this 3 gets subtracted from 4x. So that's going to give us 4x minus 6 for this length. And for over here, for the other length, we're going to do x minus 6 because x is going to get subtracted with 3 and this other 3 as well. That's going to be x minus 6. So this is basically equal to 80, the area that's given. So 80 equals to 4x times x plus 4x times negative 6 minus 6 times x minus 6 times negative 6. So that's going to be 4x square minus 24x minus 6x plus 36. 0 equals to 4x square minus 30x plus 36 minus 80, which becomes 4x square minus 30x and minus 44. Divide the entire thing by 2. So we're going to have 2x square minus 15x minus 22. And that's what the equation is in the question. Then it says solve the equation, show your working, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So what we're going to do is that we're going to use the quadratic formula. X equals to negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. A is 2, B is negative 15, and C is negative 22. So minus negative 15 plus minus over negative 15 whole square minus 4 times 2 times negative 22 over 2 times 2. So 15 plus minus, and if we solve this, it's going to be 401. So square root of 401 is 20.02. So that's going to be 15 plus 20.02 over 4, and 15 minus 20.02 over 4. So that's going to give us 8.76 for one value, and for the other value we're going to have 15 minus 20.02 divided by 4. That's negative 1.26. That's your answer. And it says calculate the shaded area. So to calculate the shaded area, first equation we're going to have is 4x times x, which is 4x squared. This is the area of the bigger triangle. Bigger rectangle, sorry. It's going to be the area of the bigger rectangle. Then the other one we had was A2, the small rectangle. 4x minus 6 times x minus 6, which was basically your 2x squared minus 15x minus 22. So I'm going to substitute x equals to 8.76 in both A1 and A2. Why 8.76? Because the value of x cannot be a negative value. We're talking about measurements. Measurements are always positive. So I'm going to substitute 8.76 into A1 and A2. So 4 times 8.76 minus 6 times 8.76 minus 6. And that gives us 80.15 centimeters square. And for this, it's going to be 4 times 8.76 square. And that's going to equal 306.95 centimeters square. So shaded area is going to be the difference of both of these. 306.95 minus 80.15. That's going to equal 226.7, which can be rounded to 227 centimeter square. Question 9 says ABC is a rectangular field. C is due south of A. AB is 450. BC is 210. And Martha walks at an average speed of 5.2 kilometers per hour. Calculate the time Martha takes to walk once around the perimeter of the field, giving your answer correct to the nearest minute. So for the perimeter, we first find the value 450 plus 210 times 2. That is going to equal to 1320 meters. So let's convert this into kilometers. So perimeter in kilometers is going to be 1320 divided by 1,000, which is going to be 1.32 kilometers. Now, since we're trying to find the time is distance over speed. So distance is 1.32, speed is 5.2. When we divide that, we get 0.2538 hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we convert this into minutes by multiplying by 60. and that's equal to 15.23 minutes. So to the nearest minute, that's going to be 15 minutes. Then it says, show that the bearing of D from A is 245 degrees, correct to 3 significant figures. So the bearing of D from A. Let's draw a compass. This is A. This is D. So bearing of D from A is all of this, which means we need to find this angle over here, this small angle. So if we draw a line from here to here, we know this is 450 and we know this is 210. And I want to find this angle. So for this angle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, since it's a rectangular field, so this is 90. So tan of angle DAC is going to be 450 over 210. Tan is opposite over tan is opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 450 and 200 is adjacent. So DAC is going to be tan inverse of 450 over 210. So that's going to give us 64.98 degrees. So your bearing is going to be the sum of 64.98 degrees, which is DAC, and 180, which is all of this. So 64.98 plus 180 is basically equal to 244.98. They want to show that correct to 3 significant figures, so that is going to be 245 degrees. That is your bearing. Part B says PQR is a triangle and S is a point on PR. PS is 10.3, QR is 12.6, and QPS is 42, and QRS is 35. Find QS. So we're going to start by finding QS first. Wait, we're going to start by finding QP, because this is the triangle that we're going to focus on. So since we have angle P and we have the length of QR, we have angle R, but we need to find the length of QP. So we're going to use sine rule. Sine rule can be used when you have like one complete set of angle and length. So by that, what I mean is that this and this is one complete set of angle and length. For this, we have the angle, but need to find the length. So we can easily use it, where it's going to be QP over sine of angle R equals to QR over sine of angle P, which is going to be QP over sine of 35 equals to 12.6 over sine of 42. So QP is going to be 12.6 times sine of 35 over sine of 42, and that is going to equal 10.8 centimeters. Now that we have QP, we move on to finding QS now. So for that, now the triangle we're going to focus on is this, and this. we have two lengths and the angle between it, which is the condition for applying the cosine rule. Either we need in order for us to apply the cosine rule, either they will ask us to find a missing length or the angle. If it's a missing length, then we need two lengths and the angle between it. If it's a missing angle, then we need all three lengths. So since we're trying to find a missing length and we have two lengths, which is QP and PS, and the angle between them, which is 42, angle P, so we can use cosine rule. So for cosine rule, we will have QS square equals to QP square plus PS square minus 2 times QP times PS times cos of angle P. So that's going to be 10.8 square plus 10.3 square minus 2 times 10.8 times 10.3 times cos of 42. So if we solve that, 10.3 square plus 10.8 square. So what you will do is 10.8 square is 116.64 plus 10.3 square is 106.09 minus, now we do all of this together, 2 times 10.8 times 10.3 times cos of 42. Don't leave the cos of 42 for the end, you have to multiply all of these together. So that's going to be 165.33. And now we add and subtract them. So 116.64 plus 106.09 minus 165.33. That's 57.4. Take the square root on both sides and QS is going to equal 7.58 centimeter. Question 10 says the volume of a cone 1/3 of pi r square h, and then curved surface area of a cone is pi r L. A solid is formed from a large cone with a small cone removed from the center. The small cone is mathematically similar to the large cone. The vertex of the large cone is vertically below the vertex of the small cone. The height of the large cone is 21 centimeters and the diameter of the top is 18 centimeters. The height of the small cone is 14 centimeters. So that the volume of the solid is 399 pi centimeter cube. So this is given as 14. This half will be 9 because the diameter is 18. Okay. So we will first do, what else do we have? 18. Height of the small cone is this. Okay. So I'm going to start by finding the radius of the small cone. This thing over here. Call this y. So since they're mathematically similar, so that means the ratio of the radius, which is 9 over y, is going to equal to the ratio of the height, which is going to be 21 over 14. So that's 9 times 14 over 21 equal to 6 centimeters. That is your radius of the small cone. Okay. After that, what we do is that once you find the radius of the small cone, I will find the volume of the small cone. So volume 2, which is going to be small cone, is going to be 1 over 3 pi r square times height, which is 14. So that is 168 pi. Now I find the volume of the larger cone. That is going to be 1 over 3 pi 9 square times 21, which is going to be 567 pi. So volume of the solid is the difference of these two, 567 pi minus 168 pi, and that's going to be 399 pi, which is what the question was asking us to show. Then it says, calculate the total surface area of the solid. So to calculate the total surface area of the solid, what we're going to do is, go back to the shape again. I'm going to first write the lengths. We have this, we have this, and then we have this. So we know this is 6, this is 9, this is 14. So we have to find the slant lengths of both the cones, the internal and the external one. So slant length is going to be this one and this one. So for the bigger cone, I'm going to do, I'll just A, call this B. So A square is going to be 14 square plus 6 square, and square root of that is going to give us 15.23. Then for B square, I'm going to do square root of the square of 21 square and 9 square, and that is going to give us 22.84. So now we're going to find the curved surface area of the solid. So that's going to be pi RL pi R1L plus pi R2L2, actually L1, L2, and yeah, so L1 is A, L2 is B, R1 is 6, and R2 is 9. So pi times 6 times 15.23 plus pi times 9 times 22.84, and that is going to give us 645.78 plus 287.078. Let's add this up. 932.85. So now we have to look at the basis. So we're subtracting the smaller circle from the bigger circle. So for that, I'm going to do pi R2 square minus pi R1 square. That's going to be pi times 9 square minus pi times 6 square. That's 254.47 minus 113.097. And that is going to give us 141.37. So now, for the total surface area, I will add 932.85 to 141.37. And that is 1074.2 centimeter square. Then says the height of a cylinder is 13 centimeters, correct to the nearest centimeter. The radius of the base of the cylinder is 4.5 centimeter, correct to the nearest 0.1 centimeter. Calculate the upper bound of the volume in centimeter cube of the cylinder. So first, let's find the degree of accuracy of the height. So that's going to be 1 because it's nearest to 1 cent. It's nearest to, it's correct to the nearest centimeter. So that means 1 divided by 2, which is 0.5. So upper bound of height is going to be 13 plus 0.5, which is 13.5 centimeter. Then degree of accuracy of the radius is going to be 0.1 divided by 2, which is 0.05. So upper bound over here is going to be 4.5 plus 0.05, which is 4.55 centimeter. Now for volume, which is pi r square h, that's going to be pi times 4.55 square times 13.5, and that is going to equal 878.02 centimeter cube. So that is your upper bound of the volume of the cylinder. We have two functions, f and x. First, they're asking us to find f of -3. That's going to be 4 times -3 plus 1, which is -12 plus 1, and that is -11. Then for g inverse, y equals to 2x minus 3. Make x the subject now, so y plus 3 equals to 2x. Y plus 3 over 2. So g inverse of x is x plus 3 over 2. What we did in the last step was we replaced x with g inverse of x and y with x. Then it says simplify the following. So what we're going to do is 2 over 4x plus 1, because f of x is 4x plus 1, plus 1 over 2x minus 3, because g of x is 2x minus 3. So since we're adding unlike denominators, I'm going to multiply the first fraction by 2x minus 3. This way we're going to have the same denominators. And I'm going to multiply the second fraction by 4x plus 1. So we have 4x minus 6 plus 4x plus 1. I've combined the numerators. And the denominator is 4x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. 4x plus 4x is 8x, minus 6 plus 1 is -5, over 4x plus 1 times 2x minus 3. This is your simplified fraction.